Hey football fans! Welcome back to Footy Today, where we bring you the latest and greatest news in the world of football. Footballers are renowned for their extravagant earnings, making it challenging for the average person to fathom their financial scale. To put things in perspective, the average annual salary in the UK is just under £35,000, a stark contrast to the Premier League players who raked in an average £60,000 a week in 2020, which has most likely increased in today's time. So, let's take a look at the highest earners since the beginning of the Premier League till now and see how much earnings have gone up. John Barnes became England's first £10,000 per week player when he joined Liverpool in 1987 before the top division's rebranding in 1992, and remained on that salary as fans and supporters alike entered the new era of the Premier League. For most of the season, John Barnes and Chris Sutton were the joint highest on £10,000 per week, but just before the end of the campaign, Eric Cantona was rewarded with a British record contract of £18,000 per week. The Frenchman carried a certain aura with him that the league-high wages were the bare necessity to keep him on board. Bergkamp had many doubters in the beginning, but proved them wrong over the next 11 years. He even went on to establish himself as an Arsenal legend. The Dutchman, dubbed the Iceman, became the perfect partner for Henry in their time spent in unison in North London and is considered one of the greats to ever play in the Premier League. With the introduction of massive new TV deals for the Premier League, it allowed clubs to offer more for top players. Fabrizio Ravanelli was handed a huge contract following his £7 million move from Juventus to Middlesbrough. He scored 31 goals in 48 matches in all competitions that season, so the price was justified. After Ravanelli left the Premier League, the highest wage fell for the first time. It meant Alan Shearer, who joined boyhood club Newcastle United in 1996, was tasked with carrying the torch as the division's highest earner. He retained that status as the best paid for the following season too, as he continued to score many goals for the club. Today, Roy Keane is renowned for his punditry, and it's easy to forget just how good of a footballer he was. To be earning more than £50,000 per week before 2000 shows that, while totting up 478 appearances for Manchester United, he was a top midfielder, a testament to not only his talent but his influence, too. Roy Keane was rewarded for his consistency as Manchester United's driving force from midfield. Upon signing a new contract at Old Trafford, increasing his wages by a whopping £38,000 per week to £90,000 per week, Keane continued to be a vital cog in the club's pursuit for more silverware during their most dominating years. Roman Abramovich's financially driven arrival meant that Hernan Crespo became the first Chelsea player to be the Premier League's highest earner. Crespo scored 20 goals in 49 league matches, and while it's certainly not a bad return, it wasn't fruitful enough to unnerve Arsenal, who earned invincible status that season. Frank Lampard was one of the best midfielders in the world under Jose Mourinho and signed a new contract at Chelsea in the summer of 2004, just shy of £100,000 per week. The Englishman remains the division's top-scoring midfielder. After winning the Champions League with Liverpool, Steven Gerrard nearly left for Chelsea, but in the end, the prospect of playing in West London failed to appeal to the Englishman. Instead, he stayed at Anfield and signed a new 4-year deal and gradually cemented himself as one of their greatest ever players in his 710-game career, one which saw him rack up 186 goals and 157 assists. Shevchenko at the time was considered to be one of the best footballers in Europe, and Chelsea opted to make him the highest paid to secure his services. However, he only scored 4 goals in 30 league matches during the 2006-2007 season. A lot was expected of the centre-forward upon his arrival from AC Milan, especially given Chelsea shelled out the most money a British club had ever spent on a player at that time. Surpassing Shevchenko's weekly take-home in the 2007-2008 season after landing a bumper contract was John Terry. The Englishman sharply established himself as one of the best defenders in world football and is widely regarded as the Premier League's greatest ever defender. Now comes the ever-growing riches of Manchester City's money. Robinho scored 14 goals in 31 Premier League games during 2008-2009 and, from a goal-scoring standpoint at least, could be considered a coup for £160,000 per week, but that didn't last for too long. Manchester City replaced Robinho with Carlos Tevez, known as a footballer who didn't enjoy playing the game, at the Etihad. So, it was only right that he went on to carry the highest earner torch, with the Argentine earning a crazy £250,000 every single week. Unsurprisingly, he held the honour of the league's highest earner for the remainder of his contract. Wayne Rooney secured himself a new deal worth £300,000 per week at Old Trafford. Some thought he was past his best at that point, but to many it was the least he deserved. He remained as the Premier League's best-paid player until he left United after the 2016-17 season. The Red Devils made Alexis Sanchez the league's highest earner upon his arrival midway through 2017-18 from Arsenal. The Chilean managed just a trio of strikes in 32 Premier League games during his nightmare at Old Trafford, despite pocketing his career-best weekly wage. David De Gea was once the best goalkeeper in the world, and United felt that he was worth every penny. He became the club and league's highest earner, though it interestingly coincided with his least impressive spell at the club. Although Gareth Bale wasn't a permanent Premier League player upon his return to Tottenham Hotspur, the Welshman still earned a ridiculous £560,000 per week in the 2020-21 campaign, largely supplied by his La Liga employers, Real Madrid. A crazy situation to dwell on considering that Los Blancos were practically paying for him to not play football with them. Tottenham were reported to be paying just 40% of that over his loan spell, and to many, they felt they were massively overpaying. At the tail end of the 2022 summer transfer window, Cristiano Ronaldo rocked the Premier League as one of football's best ever stars. He looked to propel the Manchester outfit back into title contention. United paid £20 million for his services and was met with delight, but the realization that his wages would buy just shy of the £500,000 mark every week was not. When Ronaldo left, De Bruyne then became the highest earner in all of English football. Quite possibly the league's greatest ever midfielder, the Belgian technician has undeniably sealed cult hero status at the club after being one of the best footballers in 2023, which yielded an unforgettable treble-winning season for Man City. So, there you have it, folks. The highest paid stars for every season since the start of the Premier League. What are your thoughts? Leave your comments below. If you liked this video, then don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.